in a country where "ladki chala rahi hogi" is a very common expression we hear when we see a very bad driver on the road. How does a woman who comes from a conservative family from Jammu and Kashmir went on to become a professional racing driver in a sport that was completely dominated by men? Hello everyone, my name is Humaira Mushtaq and I am a professional racing driver. I'm the first woman from Jammu and Kashmir who's a professional car racer. I'm the first woman from my place to represent in the National Racing Championship and win podium titles in National Racing Championship. I'm also the first woman from India to represent India at the British Endurance Racing Championship, where I drove for Aston Martin. I was the first Indian in the championship, the only Indian, and the only lady driver who competed with men. So yeah, that's about me. Where did I start? I started when if I look back, I started when I was 3 years old. As long as I can remember, I had a fascination with cars, motors, speeds, anything that had to do with cars. So I remember when I was younger, my dad and my parents would bring me dolls like how 2-3-year-old girls like, but I never liked them. I was more fond of boyish things, So my dad got me my first toy car when I was 3 years old. And I remember, I think that was the happiest I've been in 3 years. And I would drive it around the house. My dad knew that I had this interest for the sport. So then he got me a custom-made go-kart. I was born in India, but the first initial years of my career I spent abroad. So we had some place at the backyard of our house where we lived. And my dad built this really cute go-karting track. So it was like a go-karting situation. He made some patterns and, put some tires and everything. It was so cute. And I would drive my go-kart over there at the age of 4.5. Eventually, I grew out of that homemade go-karting track as well. And now I needed bigger space. I got into the world of karting, the professional Rotax karting. So I started competing at the age of 6. I often used to be the only girl competing with boys. And I remember I used to win, always standing on the podiums. I didn't do it because of some competitive factor that I was a girl competing with men, but it was purely because I was enjoying the sport so much. I advanced into Formula racing. I've done saloon cars, I've done stock cars, I've done touring cars, and now I do Grand Tourers at international level. I was a self-learned driver at the age of 9, 10. I could drive road cars. And I have memories that by like 9, 10, 11, I think I was kind of like, I would say, what do I say? I don't know. But I used to drive like on the streets, and I used to do all these street arts like donuts, drifting, and all these things. My dad actually saw me doing this, and these were the things I actually learned from him. And I used to see people, and I would pull it on myself. I don't recommend this, disclaimer, but this is something a 13-year do just out of fun. And eventually, my dad got to know about this, and then he actually wanted me to pursue this professionally. And I was taking the biggest, lowest point of my life is I had a happy childhood growing up. I was a pretty chill childhood. I was always a happy child, and just when the biggest tragedy of my life hit me, and I lost my best friend, my mentor, my father. My father passed away just a few days before my birthday, my 14th birthday. For the next 3 years, I was in this massive depression. From a person who was so chilled out and outgoing, I just left. I was no longer that person. But my mother was also a very strong woman. She was grieving herself, and she told me, whose grieving gave me the strength to continue. She reminded me that my father's last words to me was, continue race, do not stop racing, become a professional. You have a very rare talent. Go reach it out to the world, set an example. Allah will help you and you will move mountains. Guess moving mountains were not that easy, so I made up my mind and I wanted to pursue motorsports as a career. My mother, as a single parent, now wanted me to have some substantial career as well. Both my parents were medical doctors, and my mother felt as a single parent the responsibility was on her to shape my future. And I wanted her help in order to make a career in motorsports, because motorsports comes with a huge price tag. I needed money for the trainings, travels, even buying motorsports gears and kits. And she gave me the pact that if I make it to the med school, she will finance my career. And I started really hard to get into med school, not because I wanted to become a doctor, but because I wanted to become a race car driver. And I eventually I enrolled into the BDS. And the next day, we booked the flights, of course, and I started training. And I trained in Europe and different parts of the world. I was first discovered in India by JK Tire were running this. They were actually finding good drivers. So during a test session, they found me. And Mr. Sanjay Sharma, goes by the name of Hadi sir, has been a father figure in my life. And he discovered me and he was really impressed with my performance. And JK offered to sponsor me. And for next seasons, I was with them. I raced with them and I had a really successful season. Later on, I ventured into the touring cars and I had with MRF. So after winning titles and races and having successful season with MRF, I was authorized to get the international license. I went in and I represented India at the British Endurance Racing Championship. That was just the beginning of challenges. But, I don't complain because this is something I signed up for. Nobody got me into this. So I knew all the struggles. It's just a part of the package. When I went there, it was an English team. And I remember the sense of skepticism I had. And it's pretty obvious. They were not used to seeing women driving, drivers, especially from India. So that time, the thought of my previous coach, trainer hit me and said, women, ladies, female drivers are never taken seriously, so let your performance speak. And I gave my best performance and I made the most of it. I won points for that and I was lauded by British media. And I could literally see people transforming from that question mark face. Now they just didn't see me as a female driver, but also as a competitor. Throughout my journey, I have realized something that is bigger than myself. Yes, I want to win the race. Yes, I want to put India on the global motorsports map. But more importantly, I want to be an example for everyone who's told she or he can't do something because of his or her gender. I'm a believer of equality and advocate. I want to prove that men and women are equally capable. What continues to fuel me is that somewhere out there's a person whose mindset I may have changed or influenced. Somewhere a person will look on the TV and maybe say, "Ladki chala rahi hai, acha chala rahi hai." I come from a place where women often don't have the freedom to follow their dreams, where societal expectations were heavily on their shoulders. So, I just want to pack up and say, dream big. And I'm here to tell you, believe in yourself. You can bring any stereotype and shatter any norms. Dream big, and bigger dreams means bigger responsibilities, bigger challenges. And big dreams are not that easy. So you got to fight for it, and it's worth the fight. So to all the dreamers out there, especially women, men also, who are told you can't, I want to tell you, yes, you all can. All you need is the determination and the passion to pursue it. Be driven by the drive that's within you. Life is a car. Always sit on the driver's seat of your car. Never sit on the passenger seat. Never let anyone decide a life, a destiny, a future for you. You have the power to create your own reality, and all it takes is the determination and willingness to make it happen. So with that, I take your leave. Thank you guys so much.